After 52 years, Hazelwood Power Station has stopped generating electricity. Hundreds gathered today to pay their final respects at the generator, with the car park transformed into a makeshift memorial that not all former workers were invited.
A final fitting tribute, a farewell to the old girl who's powered the state for half a century. United, a sea of fluorescence marched as one.
Very hard, very hard. Very hard, especially for the younger folk.
For the younger kids, what are they going to do here? They're all let off somewhere, and just the old people are going to be left around.
Signs, floral tributes, hats and messages of hope adorned the now iconic fence line. Many stopping to pay their respects, others still bitter about the decision.
But it's also an opportunity for us to thank the workers and show our appreciation for everything that they've done, not only for the industry but for our local community.
Mayor Callie O'Callaghan's been counting down the days until the closure for the last 3 months. She's seen firsthand the effects it's had on her community.
It's a hard day for a lot of people out there today, and it's great to know that the community's got behind the crew and are really showing their appreciation.
And while it was meant to be a day of joy and celebration, many of the former workers felt like prisoners, locked out of their old workplace.
So that's disgusting. You got blokes that have probably been here 3 years and they're in there. I worked here for 38 and a half years and I'm outside like a criminal.
Well, we're pretty upset about that. We're pretty upset about Hazelwood being shut down with no alternative.
And now the attention turns to the younger workforce. Those who were promised long careers in the power industry at Australia's oldest generator now left in limbo.
750 jobs. Where are you going to get them again? I can't see it anywhere.
Many of the workers clocked off for the final time today. Ironically, the last of those to leave will finish up tomorrow, on April Fool's Day. Rachel Cocard, Win News.
It's been just 5 months since NG announced Hazelwood Power Station was no longer economically viable. And as the tributes continue to pour in for the generator and its staff, Win News takes a look back at how the story of its closure unfolded.
November the 3rd, a day that'll be forever etched into the minds of the Latrobe Valley.
Today is a very difficult day for 750 workers and their families who have learnt today that they will lose their jobs at the end of March.
It came after months of speculation about the future of the site and the fate of those 750 highly skilled workers. Even the state government felt it was being left in the dark, unable to provide answers to those who so desperately needed them.
They've made no decision, so that's what they've said categorically. I sought further details from that point and they declined to provide further details.
And then it came. All eyes turned on the valley as the politicians came and went, leaving shattered hearts and futures in their wake. NG announced the generator, which had powered Victoria for the past 52 years, was no longer economically viable.
Unfortunately, the power price today in Australia didn't make any of these options viable. Hence our decision of yesterday night.
Fast forward 5 months and the valley's back in the spotlight. The local politicians in Canberra paying their respects to the vital piece of our history and the workers who've made it all possible.
When you walk out tomorrow, walk out with your heads held high. This is a difficult day for you and your families, but it is no time for politics.
You've given your all, and to some of you, 3 generations of your family's work on people, on my behalf, on my family's behalf, on our behalf.
It's been 5 months in the making, but it hasn't softened the blow. March 31, a day that'll be forever etched into the minds of the Latrobe Valley. Rachel Cocard, Win News.
Good evening. 700 workers are without a job after Hazelwood Power Station officially closed its doors. Emotional workers walked off the site for the last time, saying it was gut-wrenching. Dougal Beattie was there.
After more than 50 years, Hazelwood workers have finally hung up their hats.
I worked about 36 years here. I'm 51 years of age. And it's very sad.
One by one, staff emerge from the power station, tying their hard hats to the fence to say farewell.
My heart, as I say, feels for the younger blokes in there.
Around 700 workers are now without a job, among them 250 contractors.
I'm 62. What are they going to give me? A lollipop? And let kids walk past a pedestrian? I doubt it very much.
A send-off for many who've worked together for decades.
That's the biggest part. Missing your workmates. We've got all each other's numbers, so we'll keep in contact.
Might be able to do a bit of fishing maybe.
After lunch, a Union Guard of Honour led members out. With almost 25% of Victoria's electricity supply gone, concerns of power shortages and price hikes are being played down.
We are going to continue to be a net exporter of power, so we have a surplus, so we have more generated than we need.
150 workers could be transferred to the nearby Loy Yang power station under a new deal. Some say that's a promise difficult to hang on to, with many already planning to move out of the region. The site's rehabilitation begins on Monday. Dougal Beattie, 9 News.
As Hazelwood formally closed its doors, fears have emerged there will be fewer jobs available under the worker transfer scheme. The CFMEU claims changes at Loy Yang A mean there won't be as many positions offered. Alexandria Tsatsimakis has more.
On a historic week in the power industry came talk of downgrades.
Loy Yang A are making some changes to their manning structures. They're reducing the minimum staffing requirements.
The CFMEU says it could mean fewer jobs are available for former Hazelwood employees under the worker transfer scheme.
They're talking about reducing 3 positions, which to man the station 24/7 is equivalent to 20 jobs.
The union claims Loy Yang A control room workers were told of the new structure at a meeting. An AGL spokesperson remained tight-lipped, saying crew sizes will be maintained at safe levels.
Workers feel vulnerable. They're concerned for their jobs over there. The company haven't said that they're going to make anybody redundant, but obviously if they need less people to run the place, people are fearful for their jobs.
The development is the latest in an 18-month bitter dispute between AGL and the CFMEU. It's hoped workers in line for the transfer scheme won't be left behind.
It's important to everyone that all of the opportunities are available to this community and to those workers. Be good to see everyone back in work. We don't want to see anybody left behind.
Alexandria Tsatsimakis, 9 News.
Employees of Hazelwood have today left the power station for the final time. The coal-fired plant shut down its last generator this afternoon, leaving hundreds of families facing uncertain futures. Georgina McKerrow was there.
They walked out to bagpipes with their heads held high. That was it. The last day shift clocked off at 2 p.m. A lifetime of work at Hazelwood over.
10 years. I've been here for 10 years, yeah. We had 4 months' notice.
Bob Smith clutched a photo of his workmates. He says it's something to hang in the shed. There's a lot of memories behind those tall chimneys.
A lot of people, work with a lot of people, been here 20 years.
And longer. John Darling started at Hazelwood when he was just 16. He'll be 67 in 2 weeks.
Unit 8 was still under construction when I first got here. And as I say, I saw the last unit fired up and I've now seen the last unit shut down.
The plant supplied 25% of the state's energy, but it was also the oldest and dirtiest in Victoria.
You know, today's not the day to really get into the politics of it all. I think it's really just to pay respects to workers.
The power plant has been part of this community for 52 years, so when the last workers drive out of the gates for the final time this afternoon, they really are driving into an uncertain future, with many saying there's no guarantee that they'll get new jobs. 700 jobs have now gone, their hard hats all that remain.
50 years, it's an emotional time, right? 50 years, it's a big chunk of your life.
Georgina McKerrow, 10 Eyewitness News.